Beats Production. Beats Production. Blank Beats Production. Blank Beats Production.
Calling out all my nerds, freaks, and geeks. It's mob time.
Don't tune in cause it's showtime. Go ahead and call the gang up for the one time. Rap food rhyme, got them on the line. And my life's still great, I'm doing just fine. Hands up.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Blerd Mob production.
We switching up the intro now?
Huh?
Are we switching up the intro now or something? What was that?
I did that last time.
You did?
On the Versus Tuesday.
Oh, I don't remember.
I was laughing at Galvin because he made a face. But Welcome everybody to the Blerd Mob Podcast. I'm your host, Foop. I am joined by my two co-hosts, King and Ryan.
What I do, people?
As
Yo, 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 yo.
always, if you guys aren't following us on the socials, make sure you do so. We're on Instagram at the Blerd Mob Pod. We're on X, Twitter, whatever you would like to call it, at the Blerd Mob. You can find us on Facebook at the Blerd Mob Podcast, and you can find us on TikTok at the Blerd Mob Podcast as well. If this is your first time watching us, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave us a comment, and if you're watching us on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. A couple other things. Check out our link tree, linktr.ee/the Blerd Mob Pod releases. Check out our recently released episodes. We released episode 41 like 2 weeks ago. We got a Versus Tuesday out. We got a mob review of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 out. So catch up on those episodes because we got a lot more on the way. And if you're feeling oh so generous, make sure you support the mob and send us a donation using our Ko-fi link. It's also in the chat, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We got a comment from Cassie C saying, "Hey, niece and nephews."
Hey, Auntie Cassie.
Hey,
Good,
Auntie
TT.
But what I was going to say, y'all donate to Kofi because I want to go to the Gag City World Tour hosted by Nicki
That's
Minaj.
not
So
what that
y'all-
money is.
Y'all see my girl in the bag. Y'all see her up there watching over us. She
That's
keeping
not.
us.
Did you even get a new webcam yet?
Why
That's
are you
where
in
that
my
money going to.
business?
That's
He
where the
on
money
his
going to.
iPad. He on his iPad.
Why are you in my business? I got
That's-
a brand
that's
new
what the money-
iPad fresh out the box. It's brand new.
But
And you ain't got no webcam yet.
if
I'm
you
on this live with you, ain't I?
It's working. I'll give
Oh.
you that.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
I'll give you that.
here we go.
I'll give you that.
If you're feeling generous, please donate to the Ko-fi link. It will not be going to concert tickets for King. It will be going towards equipment and all of the software that we use to bring you guys this production. So, if you're feeling generous, check out that link. It is in the comments. But we are here today because we are celebrating Black History Month at the Blerd Mob Podcast. We wouldn't be
Run it
able to
up.
call ourselves the Blerd Mob if we didn't do something. So just to give you guys the rundown of how our celebration is going for the rest of the month. So today, our episode is going to focus on the TV and film industry. Next Friday, we'll be focusing on the video game industry. The week after that, we'll be doing anime, manga, and comic books. And then we will finish the month off with a discussion on the music industry. So, mark those dates. But if you don't have time to mark those dates, don't fret. Make sure you follow us on our social media pages. We will be posting reminders every week to let you guys know what day and what time we are going live. So, as I've said, we're starting off with the TV and film industry. But before we get into the discussion, it's been a minute since we've been in the studio. King, Ron, how's everything been going?
I guess I'll go first because y'all had a very eventful weekend. I know it's Black History Month, but I went to Asian Times Square in Texas. I think it's in the Grand Prairie area. They were celebrating the new Lunar New Year. I think it's the Year of the Dragon. Good food, good atmosphere, good vibes. It was a dope experience. Really good experience.
Nice.
But
What about you, King?
It's my turn. Okay. I ain't been doing nothing. Just living life, working, being an adult, minding my business, staying out the way.
Drinking my tea, minding my business.
Yeah, drinking my electrolyte water.
I have been adjusting from being in 75-degree weather for the past couple days and then flying back to Nebraska to deal with 30 to 40-degree weather again.
oh, you gonna catch bronchitis?
Don't wish that on me.
Because
Do not wish that on me.
it ain't snowing out there right now, is it?
Oh no.
Okay, cool. At least you didn't go from the beach to the snow.
Know what I'm saying? Not sandy beaches to snowy porch, snowy driveway.
But what was you in 75-degree weather? Tell us. You stop keeping it a secret. What you do?
Not
Where you
keeping it a
go?
secret. All right, so I went to Orlando for a few days, and then I went on a cruise to the Bahamas. It was my first cruise. Woo woo.
Y'all
Nice,
get a little
nice.
clap. Ain't no clapping emojis on here.
I don't think so.
They don't got sounds on StreamYard.
This ain't Zoom now.
They got
Maybe
that.
you should start streaming on Zoom then.
No. No.
I mean, Zoom got a lot of,
All they got is background music. I don't need no claps. That's okay. I don't need no claps.
None of that.
I don't need no claps. But it was cool. My first cruise was cool. I think the only thing is that when I got off the cruise, because I've been on a boat swaying from side to side, I'm still swaying from side to side. Being
you ain't got your
on
man
land.
legs yet.
It was crazy.
You ain't experienced motion sickness or nothing out there, did you?
No. I was chilling.
That's good. That's good.
So I didn't think I was gonna have any issues on the cruise. I mean, I bought some motion sickness medicine just in case, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right?
I feel that.
But I ain't need it. So if I could, I'd take it back to Walgreens and be like, I didn't need this, baby.
You might get a return. When'd you buy it?
I bought that before I left.
You might could get you a little return.
They
Get
gonna
that
give her
$5
Walgreens. Give
some Walgreens
They gonna
credit.
give me some Walgreens credit. You can get you a bottle of water.
Look, get you a bag of these overpriced chips.
Some But yeah, it was cool. I'll definitely go on another one. So this time, Ryan will probably stop buying all that manga and Funko Pops and get his shit together.
I have only been buying the one company Pokeballs lately. No manga, and I did get the 7 Deadly Sins Funkos.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah,
and when we add all of that together, that's half of the room.
Let me see what they look like.
This my first jumbo.
Oh, that's Deanne. Of course, they will make her jumbo. That's cute.
Yeah, this is my first jumbo one, and she came out real nice, real nice. And I got the rest of them. They up on my shelf over there.
That's why Ryan went on the cruise, y'all.
Because I was buying Funkos.
He was buying Funkos and Pokeballs.
There we go.
Go ahead.
Then got sad we was on the cruise and bought him another Pokeball. How that work?
I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna let you know if you can buy from that seller.
Yeah, we gonna find out. I'm not buying nothing till I see yours.
Yeah, the Master Balls, we missed those. We got to complete the collection.
But let's go ahead and hop into the discussion. So before we get into it, I did want to take some time. We all go around the room and recognize if there's any of your peers or any notable Black figures in the TV and film industry that we want to recognize. Now is your time to do so.
I got 3. One, and everybody know and love him, I'm gonna shout out Will Smith, because when I was just thinking about some of the old school movies, they weren't all necessarily just for Black people, but Will Smith was such a very prominent Black actor that I wanted to shout him out. I want to shout out Issa Rae for giving us Insecure, legendary TV series, and the things that she's doing out there in Hollywood, giving Black actors and actresses opportunities out there. I know that rap shit show got canceled. I didn't have a chance to give it a shot, but her legacy is definitely set with Insecure. And I want to recognize Chadwick Boseman, the GOAT, only because of that experience we had in college when we went out there for Black Panther. That was legendary. Folks are in their dashikis. We was lit. Entire Black community was lit for Black Panther.
Definitely. I was excited for the movie when he showed up in Civil War. Like, for him to have like a small piece in the movie, he really like solidified himself as the Black Panther. So he definitely set the stage for what was coming for the Solo movie.
Yeah, alongside like Iron Man, like perfect casting, perfect acting in the role. I ain't familiar with the comics for real, but I enjoyed it. Nobody could really replace them for me. I enjoyed both of them.
R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. What about you, King? You got some people?
Look excited. It's Black History Month.
No, I'm trying to think.
Like, get the energy up. What's going on?
You want to think on it?
Yeah, let me think, because Ryan put me on the spot, and I don't like that.
So I had 4 people I wanted to recognize. These are Black filmmakers and directors, screenwriters, because in another life I wanted to like do film, like direct movies and write movies and stuff like that. You never know, I still may get to it. But the people that I have on my list, we're going to start with Ryan Coogler, who is the director of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Creed, and Fruitvale Station. Jordan Peele, filmmaker, screenwriter for Us, Get Out, the most recent Candyman movie, and if you remember him back on Comedy Central doing the Key and Peele comedy skits.
That's my twin in them.
I'm gonna let you have that one. It's a couple one. When we get to the music industry,
don't be coming up here talking about the game. Don't come up here talking about the game.
I'm gonna have his picture front and center beside yours.
The game, who, the rapper?
Yep.
Who look like him?
People be saying I like the game and Jordan Peele all through college, bro.
And somebody said Ryan looked like Jadena.
Oh, see, now y'all playing.
But
I'm gonna let y'all skate with the game, but I don't think I'm gonna let you skate.
I think that was one person, because I think I know who you're talking about.
We're gonna get the pictures up and we're gonna do it side by side. But the other 2 people I had, I just learned this today while I was, researching everybody's projects. We have Victoria Mahoney, which I just learned today, directed the second unit of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And she was the first female to direct a Star Wars film. So, and then we have Nia DaCosta, who is a director and screenwriter, and she did The Marvels. So, it was interesting to learn some new things, and then also just recognizing the Black directors and filmmakers of movies that I enjoy, and like the areas of movies that I enjoy. So
nice.
It's my turn now.
Yeah, we back to you, King.
Now let me start playing. First, I want to recognize my good sis Quinta. She's a nice representation of started from the bottom, and now we here.
Quinta Brunson.
Oh, girl, she just got a what's that award? She just got an Emmy.
Grammy.
No,
she didn't get no Grammy.
She got an Emmy.
She got an Emmy. Who else? I want to give a shout out to my girl Shonda Rhimes. She's the creator of How to Get Away with Murder, Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and Bridgerton. All 4 of them hit shows. Imagine it coming from.
I like Bridgerton. Yeah.
And who else I want to give a shout out to in the movie and film industry? I guess all the other Black. No, scratch that. My girl Taraji P. Henson, because she going through it. And on the flip side, they give a shout out to my girl Monique, because I'm gonna go watch her interview with Shannon Sharp after this, because apparently she spilled tea on the film industry in her interview, her latest interview.
Yeah,
with
I've been seeing clips from
that. So shouts out to Monique and Taraji, Black women, all Black women in film. Shout out to y'all.
And you know what? I like that. I want to piggyback off a few people. I want to shout out Ice Cube, because during that whole Cat Williams situation, it really brought like Ice Cube really put a lot of focus on with his movies, like a real legend that don't get his flowers for that, at least. What you was gonna say? You don't
I
like
had to disagree with Ice Cube, because it's I'm in the middle, because some people got nice stories and some people got horror stories about Ice Cube at the same time. Like the dude that played Crackhead Ezel from Friday, the girl that played Felicia from Friday, like they all got like bad stories about Ice Cube, about how he screwed them over. But people like Ricky Smiley or Cat Williams or somebody else, they got good stories. So I'm kind of on the fence. Like
I don't know. I'm gonna shout him out for the good.
Yeah, shout him out because he Black. I get. Yeah, I can't. So I'm on the fence about it. I feel him. He has given people opportunities though.
I gotta shout him out at least for that. And I want to shout out. I know we talk about him and all the babies he having, but Nick Cannon, he do help out a lot of those comedians.
Hey,
I
he
know
be
some.
he gonna keep him a job.
Yeah, and he keep putting jobs in the industry. And I
Yes,
know
he
folks.
does. But I just don't like the route Nick Cannon's going down. Nick Cannon started getting in bed with Zeus Network, and that's not a good look.
Oh,
He has a show coming out called Bad versus Wild, where he
What's that
hosting
about?
Jocelyn Girls versus Natalie Girls, and you already know what they finna on the stage and
oh,
do.
that's not good.
So yeah, he getting in
I
bed with
was gonna
Zeus
say,
Network, and I love Nick Cannon, but the fact that he getting in bed with Zeus Network, whatever he doing, just to get his, he need to stay away
well,
from them because
I would
that,
say with like his previous stuff, like Wildin'
yeah,
Out, and when he that little stint he was doing with Nickelodeon for a
mm-hmm,
while,
yeah,
and he hosted a couple of stuff on I don't know if it was ABC or what when he was doing the
mm,
hosting for the Masked Singer and stuff
Oh
like
mm-hmm,
yeah,
that. And while we're talking
yeah.
about like co-hosts and stuff, shout out to Keke Palmer.
Yes, yeah. Shout out to her.
Palmer,
Keke Palmer
yeah.
does her thing. I
Hmm.
love me some Miss Palmer.
Like from movies to she hosted some award show a while back. She got her podcast going on, all of
Mm-hmm.
the sponsorships and stuff she's been doing. So
It's a lot of grinders out there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to the folks who don't only get to the money, they help other folks get to it. I always like to see that.
yeah. And then going back to Galveston, just shout out to the people who started from the bottom, like Issa Rae
Issa.
and Quinta was doing stuff on YouTube, like web
Hmm.
series. Quinta was doing like comedy skits, stand-up comedy, and now Quinta's doing Abbott Elementary, which is doing crazy numbers. Season 3 just started today. And then Issa with Insecure rap shit. I want to say back when we were at DreamCon, RDC World had announced that they were doing something with her.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, and can we include content creators like from YouTube in the TV and film industry side?
yeah,
I want to shout out King Vader. I know his theme is anime and everything majority of the time, but I feel like he's like the next Issa Rae and those folks who like get big from YouTube, all the effort and the work he putting in.
mm-hmm.
RDC, I know Mark has mentioned multiple times he wants to get into writing, stage play, and all that good stuff.
Well, his skits, like even like the small short skits, like I know they do their funny stuff majority of the time, but every now and then when they put out those short films, those be really good. The
Yeah,
quality, the writing, yeah.
they've gotten recognized by a lot of people. I know Kevin Hart shout him out, LeBron, J. Cole working with him. Like, shout out to them. I think they're the next big stars
I
coming
think
up.
they said they're doing something with Jordan Peele too.
Oh yeah, he did say that in a YouTube video.
So, yeah.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him. But let's move into our first point of the discussion. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about the TV, film, and animation industry as it pertains to Black representation. So, starting with our first discussion point, how has Black TV, film, and animation shaped you as an individual?
I've been going first each other time. Y'all got to go.
You finna go first again?
I can go if y'all want
No,
to
I'm
think
just
on
playing.
I can go. I can go if y'all want to think on it for a minute. I
Go
want
ahead.
to start off with saying my favorite era of Black television is like the 90s, early 2000s, where it was like Fresh Prince, Martin, Sister, Half and Half, 101, The Parkers, Girlfriends, Eve. It was just like a slew. Jamie Foxx show, The Wayans
Mhm.
Bros. Like even if we want to go to like the teen channels like Nickelodeon, like we had Keenan and Kel, Disney had That's So Raven, and it was just like at that point, like growing up, having like this slew of Black TV shows
Mhm.
where it allowed us to be unapologetically Black, humorous, touched on like points in the Black community, like stuff that we could relate to. I also like that it wasn't one type of character. Like you have all these different Black characters that come from different backgrounds. Like if we want to specifically talk about Fresh Prince, you have people who relate to Will and his background. You can have people that relate to Carlton, people who relate to Hillary, people who relate to Uncle Phil, or people who aspire to want to be those people. Like Uncle Phil was a lawyer. Hillary's the rich black bougie chick, like High Diddy. Like you could see yourself in multiple characters and strive to be those characters. So I feel like that's where, like, growing up in that time, I feel like I got a lot of encouragement of like things that I wanted to do in life, like be a music producer. That didn't last, but be in the band.
I remember when you was DJ PJ back in middle school and high school. I remember that.
I'm finna start back the way these DJs running out. I'm finna get back on the ones and twos.
My dad still calls you PJ. I'm like, her real name, right? Like, do you know that that's not her? That's her initials, my dude.
It's all right. It's okay. But I'm just saying that was my favorite era of Black TV, and I'm just not honestly sure that we'll ever get back to that point. That's one of my future hopes that we do. But like, you just had to be there to grow up in that moment of when BET was actually BET, TV One, VH1, right? 106 in Park, Rap City, like just being in that era where it's Black television. Like sneaking, your cartoons here and there, but like as far as like sitcoms and live action, Black television was doing the thing.
I'll give you that. I would say the same era, at least when it came to film a little bit, really impacted me because I really like to see Black people also in a fun light. Like when it came to like the Black struggle and all this, like that's always cool. But I really like seeing like the folks get into fantasy, get into the superheroes, get into the sci-fi and all of that. And that's why I really enjoy Will Smith. Like when I go back and watch movies like Hancock, still one of my favorite superhero movies. Folks might not agree with that. It's hilarious. I rewatch it whenever I see it on streaming. I, Robot, still fire till this day.
Independence Day.
I Am Legend is the only movie that I can account for that legitimately. Oh shoot! My cat jumped on my thigh, scratched me. I Am Legend, one of the few movies that truly made me cry, and it can still make me tear up to this day when he killed the dog. I don't know why that scene get me, but it's the only movie that I can account for that makes me cry. And it's like seeing an actor like Will Smith play those powerful roles and allows Black people to be in other lights. You know what I'm saying? Like we can be just as much in the action movies, the fantasy, the sci-fi, just as much as we can be in the Black movies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I really appreciated those from myself.
It must be my turn.
Yeah, we are.
If it's my turn, drop it in the chat if it's my turn.
Round table talk.
No, I'm just playing. I'll say my favorite, I guess the most impactful to me, I like old Black movies. Like Friday, Players Club, This Man, Cookout, Block Party, Car Wash.
Barbershop Count.
Beauty Shop.
Beauty Shop. What's the one with Chris Tucker? He worked the car wash. That was my favorite one. When he was
Chris Tucker.
I forgot. He worked at a car wash, and he got mixed up with this white man, and they were stealing money. And I forgot what they used to be my favorite movie. Somebody drop it in the chat. What's the name of that movie with Chris Tucker? He worked at a car wash.
I can look it up, Chris.
And he was at that party, and he was telling that dude, he was like, "Yeah, my name Vic Damone," and the white man was like, "Vic Damone." He was like,
"Yeah, my money." It's called Money Talks.
Money Talks. There you go. That used to be my movie growing up. But yeah, I love the Black movies growing up. Like all of that. Like I was into like all the movies growing up. The Wood. What else was a Black movie growing up? Boys in the Hood. Belly. New Jack City. Like all those movies. Like that was. I guess you could say that was my favorite era. Growing up watching those movies, knowing good well I ain't had no business watching half of them, but I was still watching Players Club. I was there when Junior did that to Ebony, and I didn't appreciate that at 6 years old. I didn't appreciate that, even though I didn't know what was going on. I knew that wasn't right. But
she only came to dance.
She only came to dance. So I guess my favorite thing is like the Black movies. And I just feel like some of the newer Black movies just don't hit like they used to.
I was just about to say that. Like even
they don't hit.
I feel like it's because you're bringing up those, but I'm also thinking about like when you start getting into like the 2000s, like we don't get a lot of the Black family movies anymore.
Like the Johnson's Family
Vacation, the movie with Martin Lawrence and Raven Simone when he had to take
College
over.
road trip.
Yeah, College Road Trip.
Are We There Yet was fire.
Are we there yet?
Yeah, that was fire.
Like, I feel like we don't get those anymore. And I would agree with King, like the ones that they are putting out be like a hit and a miss. Like The Blackening, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was nice.
But then the recent House Party, when they, did the Modern House Party, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's like we're trying to make everything like a spectacle or whatever, and not just trying to stick to like, I don't know. Or they're
writers ain't creative.
It could be that too. I think everybody's just trying to lean into the culture and what's the next hottest thing, what's the next hottest slang or whatever. And sometimes it's just not executed well.
Yeah. I would also say, like, even when it comes to black comedy, like back in the 2000s and the 2010s, like, let's not talk about Chris Tucker and Friday and Rush Hour. Let's not talk about Chris Rock in movies like Grown Ups and everything.
Yeah, or Chris Rock,
all them Wayne's movies.
Jamie Foxx and all his movies.
Yep.
Some people dislike Kevin Hart, but some of his earlier spots in, say, Soul Plane and
some of his
Kevin Hart earlier stuff, it was funny when he, The Wedding Ringer on back.
Yeah. And there was another one he did with Martin Lawrence, Death at a Funeral, I think. I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like even back then, like the early 2010s and the 2000s, like black comedians really took over the comedy side of film and TV. And I would love it if we could get back to that.
Okay, let me ask y'all this, because one thing I just remember, I wanted to bring this up. Tyler Perry. I want to give Tyler a shout out, and I want to give him the middle finger at the same time, because old Tyler
them plays
was it. Them plays in them very early Tyler Perry movies when he first started doing movies, and them plays was it.
Yeah, I
feel like once he got to, I remember the movie Medea Goes to Jail when it came out in theaters. Once he got to that movie, anything after that was a mess. I was like, Tyler, give it up.
What started turning me off from the Tyler Perry movies is that he would have a movie that tackled a very serious situation and then threw Medea in it. And I was like, okay, so now we throwing it off. Because when Taraji did I Can Do Bad by Myself, like that movie has a very serious tone and some very serious themes. And then we get to the middle, like somewhere in the middle of the movie, and Medea pops up. And I was like, okay.
See, but I just see what pisses me off with Tyler. That's why I want to give him a shout out and a middle finger, because his plays be excellent. I Can Do Bad by Myself play that had Medea in it. That was the perfect balance of sad and comedy. Well, but when he translates to the movies, it's like Medea just take over, and that's not what it's giving. That movie wasn't. It just didn't give that sometimes. So but like the play versions, they be nice.
So I didn't see the play for I Can Do Bad All By Myself, but I definitely got that feeling from the movie that now Medea's here and she finna overshadow. Oh, Medea's here now. She's finna overshadow like the whole movie.
I just say Tyler Perry back in the day. New Tyler Perry today. Apparently everybody say he's trying to do better. That's what all his workers are saying. Monique just got on Shannon Sharp interview and said he's not trying to do better. The wigs he be putting them in now, he wrong for that. The shows he got on BET, he wrong for that too. Because I just feel like through some of them shows, he just living out his fantasy through them shows. Because why almost every episode of them shows, you got a gay scene. Like, we don't need that every episode. Obviously, you got a gay storyline, but I've seen numerous videos that I thought was porn on Twitter. They're like, oh no, that come from a Tyler Perry show. Like, what the hell is BET letting him do? Like, so I just feel like Tyler is just getting.
They say he bringing BET money, so
yeah, he is. Some of his shows be good. Like they say, Sisters on BET is nice, and it's another show he got on BET that's real nice. They say some of them is a flop, but I'm just gonna give it to old Tyler Perry. Them plays, Meet the Browns, Medea Goes to Jail, Medea's Family Reunion, I Can Do Bad by Myself, What's Done in the Dark, all them plays where they sang every 5 minutes. I'd give him his 10s for that, but the movies just don't hit for me.
I know Tyler Perry is used to like writing and producing all of his stuff. Like even if you look at his older stuff and where he had to start from. But I think now that he's older and he has the money, I think he has an opportunity to bring up some young Black writers and directors. And like this whole conversation that we're having about the errors of Black TV and film that we're missing could be revitalized if we had these people like Tyler Perry in these high places giving these underdogs the opportunity.
I will say that I don't care for many of Tyler Perry's projects at all. Medea never resonated with me. My family loved it. I despised it. I
Some of
did
us would
like
say
that.
that's anti-Black, Ryan.
I did like the Why Did I Get Married movies and Daddy's Little Girl. Those are the only Tyler Perry projects that I can account for that I thoroughly enjoyed.
You didn't like Diary of a Man Black Woman when she dumped him over in that tub
Diary
in
of
that wheelchair?
now I will say this: Diary of a Mad Black Woman was a good balance between movie and putting Medea in it.
What about the one where she was like, "Hey, you're gonna tell her"?
That's Medea's
You're
family.
gonna tell her.
That's Medea's family reunion.
Them early movies are lit, right? You can't. Them early ones when he first started doing movies was lit, though.
I've seen them all. My family loves Medea. Every time they put the cassette in, I would just sit there with my head down because I'm like, I don't enjoy this. But I will always celebrate Black people putting Black people on the more money. I'm glad that he puts these up and coming artists and actors and actresses into his films. I know my Mad Drama organization from JSU. I think 1 or 2 members from Mad Drama were a part of some of Tyler Perry's films. So shout out to him for that. I do agree with Portia though. Foop, I mean, in my opinion, he should definitely invest in more directors, definitely invest in more writers, give more Black people opportunities in that arena. And then because he has the resources, let's see their films. Your name ain't got to be on everything. Be in the background, do some mentorship, give them the resources to grow, and that's what I would love to see from Tyler Perry.
And I know he has a niche. I know that Tyler Perry makes specific types of movies and specific types of shows, but I feel like we can do more because I know Ryan's gonna bring it up about like the lack of Black representation, like fantasy and
everything Will Smith did, basically
the other genres. But I want people to have more opportunities, and I want them to have more opportunities to branch out in the genres that they like, and not like, hey, I work for Tyler Perry, but I have to write this specific type of shows and these specific type of movies because that's what Tyler Perry does.
Exactly, because it's like you got the resources, and I'm not saying he got to do what I want him to do, but if what you're doing isn't hitting the mark like it used 2 years ago, then that's where, from a business perspective, maybe it's time to innovate or try something new. Look at the new trends of what's actually working, and let's engage in that. You know what I mean? I would love to see him actually expand out, especially all them actors and actresses. Atlanta is a hub. I know a lot of folks who are out there trying to pursue their careers. You got. If when it comes to people and supply, you got it.
I would agree. But I definitely agree with you guys. Like early 90s to like 2010s, like the movies, the shows, and everything was coming out. That was a time to live, from comedy, horror, and just the sitcoms. I was living in it. But let's move on to our next discussion topic, and we've kind of been touching on it a little bit, but let's really hit the nail on the head. So what do you guys like the most about Black representation in the TV, film, and animation industry?
What I like the most, when executed right, I like that specifically for the children, specifically for Black children, when they can look at a film, watch a TV show, and they can feel represented. Now, I feel like sometimes I've watched films where I can feel represented, even if the person isn't the same race, let alone the same sex or ethnicity, of course. But sometimes having that extra visual aid, I can't discount the benefit of that. It is nice seeing, as a Black boy who's in action films and everything like that, it feels good to see a Black man in an action movie. It feels good. I love John Wick, but I can't lie and say if I had just a same quality action movie and it was a Black actor in that main role, like someone like Will Smith, I would love it.
I told you what to go watch. I told you what to go watch to get that feeling.
What was it again?
Go watch The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. The first
And
one.
any movie with Michael J. White too. He do a lot of action movies.
Yeah.
Science fiction.
Michael J.
Go
White.
watch.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Go watch The Equalizer.
I would say Michael J. White probably has done more action in sci-fi like movies than Will Smith, if you think about it.
Isn't Michael?
Because Michael J. White he kind of like a Jackie Chan. Like he do his own stunts. He's trained in martial arts and all that. So
because he was in Arrow.
Yeah,
he was in Why Did I Get
Married?
He does a lot of action stuff too.
Oh, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, you know he does a lot of action. I just watched a movie like a week or two ago with him in it called The Island, and it was actually really good. Michael J. White is nice.
Yeah,
I really wanted him to play Jackson, the new MK, but they didn't cast him, so
he would have been good.
He would have been nice for Jax. Ooh, I know he would have been nice. But the guy, I can't lie, Mekhi Brooks, the guy they got now, visually, he fits the Jax thing with the height, the build. Michael J. White, he just real short and stubby. I guess maybe he wouldn't have been he would have been good as far as his skills and his acting. But visually, he don't fit the Jax look. If you just think about it, he's not tall enough. But yeah, Michael J. White, he has some good action movies.
And I see the Equalizer 3 came out last year, so I'll give it a watch. I'm gonna see what they hitting on too.
I liked them. I liked the first two. I haven't seen the third one yet, but I remember thoroughly enjoying. Darkseid said King came to hype shame.
No! Darkseid, as I kept thinking about it, at first thought Michael J. White would be a good Jax, but once you think about the Jax character, Jax is actually a really tall, 6'5" black man, bald headed, and Michael J. White probably like 6 foot even, maybe.
See, Sage, King is like 6'2", so he looking down on the short kings out there, but we don't do that.
I'm not. I'm actually like 6'3", 6'4", but I'm not looking down on the short king.
You ain't that tall. I just feel
okay.
You is not no 6'4".
Let's bring it back. Because
you lied to the DMV. That's supposed to prove something to me.
Oh, they measure you. Don't they measure you?
No.
Let's bring it back.
I hate to be you.
Ryan got homework to go watch The Equalizer.
I do.
But I would have to agree. What I like the most about it is that we exist in the space. And we're able to represent certain type of characters. And I want to touch on what Ryan said, especially for like the kids, like Halle Bailey being the Little Mermaid was like, even with, and this goes into one of my dislikes, I hate all of the pushback that we get when we step into a role outside of what everybody is used to us playing. Like when we want to do a mermaid, or even everything that happened with the Percy Jackson series when they casted Leah Jeffries to be Annabeth Chase. Like, I hate everything that we have to go through just because we got picked to be a role. But I love that we are able to exist in that space and to represent. And when people see those characters on TV, they can connect and they can relate and they can have the visual and be like, we can be mermaids and we can be demigods and we can be, let's even get in the House of the Dragon with the Valerian families. Like we can, the Valerians, like we can be lords and ladies and dragon riders and all that stuff. So I like that we are existing in the space and we are taking on roles and positions outside of the usual, Black struggle and Black trauma movies. So
I agree. It's your turn, Calvin.
Well, it's my turn again. God,
put in the chat if it's King's turn.
Put in the chat if it's my turn to talk. What I'm answering, what I like the most about Black people in the film and TV industry, the fact that we even in there. Yeah. The fact that we even get those opportunities to even be in there, because they didn't have to choose Halle for Little Mermaid. They could have chose Dove Cameron and gave her a red wig and been called the day. So the fact that we even have those opportunities, I'm grateful for. But I can see when, for instance, like Little Mermaid, Halle Bailey playing Little Mermaid, some Black people really didn't agree with that because some Black people want real, authentic Black characters that were created for a Black person. They felt like the Little Mermaid wasn't created for a Black girl, so that's why some black people were siding with is it the left side or the right side? The right side or the conservatives, left sides or liberals, right?
Right wing. It depends on in what perspective, but
whatever
yeah,
side on the conservative, that's why a lot of black people was agreeing with them because they felt like we should have, if she was gonna be anything, they felt like she should have been Tiana, or they should have bust out with a new black people. And I'm on the fence about that because what's wrong with her playing Ariel? And I do feel like we should get original black characters, but I'm just happy that we just in front of the TV because for a long time growing up, we just wasn't. We had to watch black movies like Friday or trauma movies like The Color Purple to see us. I mean, not like Friday's bad, but it's not good either.
But it's not The Little Mermaid. It's like it's not a big blockbuster Disney movie either.
So my opinion on that, and it's not that I lean to the right on that. I'm honestly right in the middle. I just want us as viewers / consumers and the suppliers being Hollywood majority to be more consistent with that. And what I mean by consistency is if we're for people playing any role, long as they're a great actor and they bring quality to their role, regardless of their race, regardless of their ethnicity, sometimes regardless of their sex, then let's be consistent in that. Mm-hmm. If we want everything to be close to the source material or the material that is gaining influence from regarding race, ethnicity, or sex, then let's do that. I want us to pick a side and not be flip-floppy when it comes to that. That's my only issue. I have no... Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of in the middle too. I see both sides. Like I see the side of like it's nothing wrong with Halle Berry being a mermaid because it's a mermaid. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also on the side of like, yes, like, you know, Disney's been doing this remake thing for a long time. And we've already said, you know, like what's new? What's the next thing you're gonna do? Did you really have to redo The Little Mermaid? Why couldn't you just create another character and let Halle Berry play that? Mm-hmm. Like I see both sides, but what I will commend Disney for is when Halle Berry got the role of the Little Mermaid. That whole promo and the whole movie and everything centered around it, it wasn't focused on the fact that she was a black actress in The Little Mermaid. They were promoting the movie as it was. Mm-hmm. So I would commend them for that, but I definitely see both sides of the argument.
Yeah. And it's like, I didn't see the film only because I'm not much of a Disney fan. It didn't have anything to do with the casting. It's just, I also am in full support of let's actually create new black characters. I will always put that as priority number one over everything else. Hell, I'll even say create more white characters, Asian characters, Hispanic characters too, just because I want to see new ideas brought to the TV and film industry. And in my opinion, shout out to Halle Bailey as a personal person, as an individual. She get into a bag. She doing the music thing, she doing the acting thing, multi-talented, salute. And she around our age, salute that. But it's like, I want Hollywood to actually truly create black characters and not just throw us in a film to say, hey, we got a black person in here, y'all should like it. I don't want that. I'd rather y'all just not even put us there at that point.
Right.
Just me personally.
I would agree. But that was gonna go into my other thing. One more thing that I will say that I like, and then we can go into the dislikes. The other thing that I like is what I was saying before is that we have, just going back to the people that I shouted out before, that we have black directors, screenwriters participating in these big franchises, like Ryan Coogler's doing stuff for the MCU. Nia DaCosta's doing stuff for the MCU. Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Don Cheadle. Mm-hmm. What's old guy's name from 8 Mile, who's Captain America now?
I don't know his name. Some Mackey, ain't it? His last name Mackey.
Yep. That's a shame.
Y'all said Samuel
Jackson.
What's her name with the fro? Monica Rambeau, her mama. Shout out to her mama because her mama have been on the screen a lot in front of me the last 2 years. She was in this. She was in Woman King.
Anthony Mackie.
That's his name, Anthony Mackie. He
Tiana
said.
Paris. He said.
Darcy said Anthony Jackie. Please leave the chat. Drop in the chat and say to leave the chat.
Because I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah, the black girl. She was in Woman King.
Lashana Lynch.
Yeah, her. She was in Woman King. She was in.
She was in Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Was she on WandaVision?
No, that was Tiana Paris. Well, she was in like a flashback.
Okay.
But she was also in Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Shout out to Viola Davis. Yeah, that is my favorite black actress of all time. When I say Miss Viola been in the game, Miss Viola has been in the game.
She killed her role in Hunger Games.
She did. Viola,
my favorite. Yeah,
Viola, Vivica, Gabrielle, Taraji, and both of the Reginas have been in the game for so long.
Shout out to Regina King for the Watchmen series.
I gotta say this too. Gabrielle Union, in my opinion, don't get enough credit. I really love her being Mary Jane. That was a guilty pleasure of mine. I couldn't tell many of my folks that I like that show, and I love it.
Well, they know now.
Like I'm cool now. I don't care. But I used to love that. Gabrielle Union has played in a lot of shows that I like and movies.
I forgot Angela. My bad, Dark Sage. I was the name, but Angela too.
Angela Bassett.
Can't forget about Angela. Whose book are you referring to, Dark Sage? Who got a book?
Viola Davis got a book.
Oh, I didn't know that. I might go see that. Not see that. Read that.
I go see that book.
but yeah, shout out to the ones that still holding it down. It's some old black actresses coming to my head.
And shout out to John Boyega.
Yeah,
he did the Woman King. I hate how they did him in Star Wars, but other than Billy D. Williams.
What else was he in, John Boyega?
He was in the Woman King,
and he was in something else.
They cloned Tyrone.
Oh, that's what it was.
Who's the actor that was in Get Out, Black Panther, and a few more things? And he's just been
Daniel
on
Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Because he's doing I don't know how much animated stuff he's done, but he was Spider-Punk in Across the Spider-Verse.
Has he got a main role yet? Because I want him to have time to shine. I really want him to have real time to shine and something.
Ain't he the same dude that's from Black Panther?
Yeah, he was
Jabari and them. Yeah, I don't think he's had a main. Wasn't he a main role with Lupita? Was that wasn't him with Lupita and Get Out? Was it Get Out or Us?
Yeah, that's Us. You thinking about what's his name? Duke. You talking about Duke, who's also from Wakanda Forever and
that's who
Duke Winston Duke. I said it backwards. Winston Duke. That's what
you talking about. The one with the glasses. Okay, I know who you talking about now, right? I had to think. Okay.
And I want to piggyback off something Foop said. Because we miss out the folks in the background, the directors, the writers, the producers. Unless they make some real fire movies in a row, we miss out on them. But that's where, in my opinion, the real impact comes. Because when you got black writers with diverse opinions, diverse experiences and cultures, and then the producers and the directors help to bring that to life, that's when you start to see the quality film and TV series. That's when you see the stuff that steps out from the usual black struggle stereotype.
Yeah.
And that's why I really want to shout out Issa Rae again. And I want to shout out my boy. I don't like many of his projects at all, but shout out to Danny Glover, Childish Gambino.
Yeah,
I want
Mr. This is America.
Yeah, he did Atlanta.
Yeah. I will say this: most of his movies don't in shows. Like I know he did Swarm and he did something else. He's in that Mr. and Mrs. Smith remake.
Yeah. They say that's good. I'm scared to go watch because I might like it.
That's my opinion too.
Same.
I'm scared.
But they said Swarm was really good though.
I can't say that on live. But I only watched the.
What you were finna see?
Oh, we already. Oh, here we
go. It is what it is. But
what it is?
Yes, it is. That's the only reason I pulled it up. But
Sage said why you don't like Childish Gambino. I think he said he just don't like some of his projects.
Yeah, his projects don't appeal to me. It's nothing wrong with him as a person, but the awkward tries to go for these more deeper type shows. Like even Jordan Peele's movies haven't really appealed to me lately. But I'm glad to see him in the industry. I don't gotta like it all, but I'm glad that you're there and you're bringing something new
Yeah.
because someone else is. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta be a fan.
I just like the fact that like the directors that I brought up, Issa, Childish Gambino, that they have been able to make huge bodies of work inside of these large franchises working with HBO. Like,
Yeah, shout out
let's
to
talk about
HBO.
it. Let's just talk about again the MCU, the actors and actresses that have been in the MCU who have starred in big like notable IPs like Star Wars
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So like
We forgot about Mr. Spike Lee, even though a lot of people don't like some of his movies.
he did Blade. I'm gonna give him
And
Blade.
he also did Precious.
He did do Precious.
I actually remember liking Precious. I just never rewatched it.
What? He did Love and Basketball. I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh,
Sage asks what type of black live action content you like. I don't know who that question was for. Was that for you?
I would assume it's me. Honestly, Will Smith's movies, like I said earlier, the I Am Legends, the I Robots, the Hancocks, those honestly. When I can account for like what action movies I like that had a prominent black actor, it's those. If I wanted to exclude Black Panther because it's Marvel.
Okay.
Precious is a comedy for me. It's
only because people made the memes.
No, it was funny, but it was funny back when
that
it came
movie
out in
is far from a comedy. Now watching it, yes, it's a comedy, but when that movie first dropped, that movie was so far from a comedy, y'all. And if you sat there for the first time and watched Precious and you laughed at them people at that TV, you're heartless because what nothing that lady went through in that movie, even though it was fiction, there wasn't nothing funny about that. To me, I cried when I watched it. That was so sad. Like
when she told Precious to eat that food and she said, "I ain't hungry, eat this." I was laughing.
That's a trauma response.
See what I'm saying?
That's a trauma response.
It wasn't. Now, if I watch Precious, y'all laugh. But when I first started, I was like, why the hell would Spike Lee make this movie? This is traumatic. Like,
I laughed.
Dark said I cried too, laughing.
So y'all telling me y'all thought it was funny that the girl got raped by her daddy, had AIDS, and had 2 kids by her daddy, was in special ed, couldn't read or write, stealing chicken out of KFC. Her mama pushed her down the stairs and threw a TV at her. Like, so all that was funny to y'all. And that wasn't even half of the movie.
Oh my!
That wasn't even half of the movie. What I just named wasn't half of the movie, so that was funny to y'all.
Oh my god!
I think we should move to the next discussion topic.
That's crazy. America, as my guy Bernie Mac, you say America, you can see who Harley is.
She told me to shut my face.
Now that part was funny. And they did not have to have Mariah Carey up there looking like that.
Look, you think you smart since you got your motherfucking degree. Like,
I just said that today. It's what y'all did with the movie after it came out.
Funny then though. It was funny back then.
It didn't get funny to me.
It wasn't funny to me.
That was sad.
It wasn't funny.
They just like sitting down watching The Color Purple and saying it's funny. Like that shit is sad.
Funny.
Because you got your degree.
That's so crazy.
All right,
they only laughing at her because she dark skinned and him and said, "Y'all ain't gotta do my girl Abigail like that."
She should be in more comedy movies. She fire.
She was in American Horror Story. She was in
She found her spot. Shout out
to her. She was in something else.
She was in some other show too.
No, did y'all see the video when she went on the talk show and they pranked her about making the couch cake? And she sat down, she was like, "Is this cake?" And I was like, "See."
I ain't know about
that.
They wrong for that.
Woo! But yeah, Say said he would never watch The Color Purple. Hey, don't watch it. The old one or the new one, especially not the old one. I said the new one better, but don't watch the old one.
I ain't care for neither of those. I refuse to sit down for that.
Yeah.
Who disappointed in me and Sage? It's okay.
I'm not disappointed. I just never heard. When I watched the movie, I didn't find it funny, and I see how some of like the memes and stuff have kind of like misconstrued the movie.
But here's the thing: the people who made the memes had to remember, and they probably laughed just like me and Sage back then. But social media wasn't that big yet.
I
so
hear
now
you.
that the memes are out and the gifts are out, they said, you know what, this gonna bang.
I hear you. Everybody who enjoy those memes, go back and watch the movie. And I want
Go
you
back and watch the movie.
I want you to personally message me and let me know if you found that movie funny. But moving on to the next discussion topic. So we talked about what we liked about Black representation in the TV, film, and animation industry. We kind of touched on a bit of the dislikes, but once again, to hit the nail on the head, what do you dislike the most about Black representation in the TV, film, and animation industry?
Y'all must want me to go first.
If you want to.
I reckon I'll go. What I dislike the most is, first of all, trauma movies. Anything dealing with Black trauma is a no-go for me. That won't even come on my television screen. A TV show, a movie. If I'm watching and I feel like some creepy shit for the go on with Black people, we cut it off, because why are we still making those type movies? Second, another thing I dislike is, and I'm glad my sister Zendaya stood up for this years ago, because she put in her contract that she would never play a role that is meant for Black women. She will only take roles that is meant for white women. And I love that, because I hate the fact that Hollywood, it's always for the Black girl, she always got to be light skinned, like a Zendaya, or what's that girl from
what's her face from Grownish,
Stormy,
Blackish.
Yeah, her what's her name? From Grownish. I forgot her name, but that's my girl. Yara Shradi.
Yeah.
Or Stormy. That's another light skin they always picking up.
And what's the other girl who played in The Hate We Give? She was Rue in the Hunger Games.
Okay, yeah, her. And that just really bothers me that the representation for Black women specific. Now, when they do Black men in media, it can range. Light skin, dark skin, but when it comes to Black women, it's always got to be a light skinned Black woman with kind of curly hair. It ain't gonna be too curly. It ain't gonna be no 4C. But she gonna have a little wave in there.
She got 4A.
And she gonna be just Black enough, like Zendaya or Stormy, to pass by with us. Because we not gonna get mad at Zendaya for being in front of us. Because it's Zendaya, we love her. But at the same time, we like, damn, bitch, like, y'all couldn't go get Coco Jones or what's her name?
Or just a new actress who's up and coming.
They dark enough. I mean, stuff like that. And I'm glad Zendaya put that in her contract, because she would not play roles.
I agree.
She would not take up roles meant for a Black woman, because she just feel like she's always the go-to, and I really applaud her for that.
I agree, because looking at her upcoming projects, I won't speak too much on Dune, because I feel like Dune could go, either way. Yeah. But that Challengers movie,
when she was with the tennis players,
with the tennis folks, you can look at that. You can look at that movie and be
white woman.
Yeah,
it gave white woman. Let them two white men do that to her in that bedroom. It gave white woman. So is Mary Jane not considered?
I love Mary Jane. I would consider it. Here's what I'll touch on, Sage, because this was going to be my dislikes. Galvin covered the
Mary Jane. Are you
talking about from Spider-Man?
Oh, I'm Mary Jane. Am I lagging out?
He's talking about MJ from Spider-Man.
Oh, is he asking if she considered Black? I mean, not for real.
From the MCU.
I'm gonna say this.
I mean, they was mad because they had red hair in the movie. They was mad for that.
I just feel like she Black. I'm gonna say this. Zendaya's Black. She a light skin with a black card. That's how I'm trying to put it. Cause she really more white than Black, and she said that in numerous interviews. Yes, her daddy. I think her dad like mixed or so. I don't even think he fully Black. So. I'll just give her a light skin with a black card. And she Black, but it could get blacker. It could have got blacker. They could put Tom Holland with dark skinned, 4C hair. What's the girl name?
He's just asking, would you not consider MJ in the Spider-Man movies as Black then? But I mean,
it's passable. It's passable, and that's the point. Like, it's passable. Like, Some people would, some people wouldn't. I would say, okay, yeah, she black because of Zendaya. Like,
I would give it to her because they cut up when they found out Zendaya was playing MJ in the Spider-Man movies. Even with everything that you said, even with the statement that she had in her contract, when folks found out that Zendaya was playing Mary Jane in the Spider-Man movies, they cut up. It was first because she was black. The second thing, then they got over that. Then they turned around and got mad and said she ain't got red hair.
But what Sage is saying, it's like, it was Zendaya's contract when she said she'll never play a black role again. Was that during the Spider-Man movies? And
maybe y'all
that's the case.
Y'all misunderstood what I said. She won't play a role that's meant for a black woman. Mary Jane, MJ from Spider-Man wasn't meant for no black woman from jump. It's meant for a red-headed white woman or a blonde-headed white woman, according to the second installment of Spider-Man.
Well, that's Gwen Stacy.
So the fact that she took this role with Tom Holland just solidifies what she said on her contract. She's only going to take roles meant for white women.
So that's the follow-up. So yeah, so essentially Mary Jane is still white by the MCU Sony combination standards.
Just because Zendaya player don't make her black. She's passable. Now, I'll say, if so they got a dark skin to play Miles Morales, now we can get into, okay, not Spider-Man black. But Zendaya, she passable, and it's okay because she's passable. I don't hate that, but they could go darker. If they really going to do like a black woman representation in media, I just really want them to stray away from the light skin. There's nothing wrong with a little melanin.
Well, here this will lead to my dislike, since you already covered the always doing black trauma and segregation stuff. I don't like that when a black person gets into a role, regardless of if it's a new role or an old role, because those are always going to cause issues until Hollywood and the consumers get consistent in what they want. I don't like that we have to emphasize the fact that they're black, and that them being black isn't necessary in terms of making an effective character. I like that whether or not Zendaya was playing a white woman or not, I was able to watch Spider-Man and just see a good Mary Jane. I'm consistent with that. The black guy who was in John Wick Chapter 4, we didn't have to emphasize the fact that he was black. He was a great sniper. He had that relationship with his dog, and his character well executed. I can name quite a few black actors who came into a few roles, but it's only a few where they did good, and the reason they were good is because we focused on them being quality actors, playing to their role, and that was it. Them being black, we ain't got to focus on that, because them being black isn't why they're an actor. They're an actor because they're passionate about it and they're trying to make that money. So let them make that money by doing a great job. That's what I like to personally see. And that can apply to anything outside of movies and TV. I like that I can get recognized for my quality of work at my job, just because I'm a great worker. I'm smart to a lot of degrees, charismatic, and I get the job done. Don't congratulate me because I'm black. Congratulate me for the quality of my character. Shout out to MLK.
I would agree.
That's what I want to be judged by.
I kind of agree with that. But I
Coleman was good in the first John Wick 2. What Sage said, he was excellent. Actually, did a great job.
I kind of agree with that. I can't agree to a certain extent. We should be applauded because of our skills, but at the same time, black people have been in the back for so long. It's time for us to be in the front and be highlighted because we black and on front of TV. Because they did it to white people. They do it to white people all the time. What's my girl with the Anya Taylor-Joy? They love that blonde-headed woman on that screen. Like they don't care what the movie about. Just because she blonde and white in front of them, they're gonna eat that up. So why can't us black people have the same thing? Why can't I look at the screen and just eat it up because I see a dark-skinned black man? Not because he acted good, just because I like what I see. Because again, us black people, we're not always used to that. We're always in the back. And us just saying, oh, we should stop worrying about them men, black folks on the skills. That's I feel like that's kind of dabbling in white supremacy because now y'all just, now we don't care because you black. Now we worried about your skills. But before y'all care because I was black and y'all didn't want to hire me, but now y'all have to hire me because I'm black. Now y'all don't care that I'm black. It gets real sticky with that. So I feel like I'm on the fence about that.
But here's my thing. White people being celebrated for being white in movies and TV is not nearly as common as black people being celebrated for being black. And that's where I'm saying I want us to reach the same pinnacle. Somebody like Angelina Jolie, Robbie, what's baby girl name from Wolf of Wall Street and Barbie? What's her name? Margot Robbie, the Scarlett Johansson, the woman that Brad Pitt cheated on Angelina Jolie with,
Jennifer
Aniston.
Like, I'm naming a lot of the white women. Let's talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's talk about some of these actors and actresses. We highlight them, and Robert Downey Jr. is in that boat too nowadays. We highlight them because of their acting skills, because they did such a great job in the roles that they were awarded. And I want Black people to be given that same opportunity. Don't just pick me because I'm Black. Don't just highlight me because I'm Black, because there are plenty of Black actors and actresses who should be highlighted solely because they're great. Viola Davis, one of them. There are a few others. Will Smith, he messed up his reputation with that smack. One of them. These are
But I
Black
feel you.
actresses and actors who are not because they're Black, they're amazing. It's not because of the color of their skin. They are just great, pure, amazing actors, and that needs to be highlighted first because that's what they worked to accomplish. They didn't work to make their skin brown. They worked at their crafts.
I feel that, but at the same time, there's a lot of white people that are highlighted just because they white and they have zero skin. They're in front of us almost every movie because the color of their skin, but has zero acting skills. So why can't we get there? Why can't we get through up there just because we Black?
So this is why I'll question you. Are they being highlighted because they're white, or is it because all of their peers who are doing the hiring and the casting calls are also white, and they have the inability to see past skin color when picking somebody? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we got to hire new recruiters. Hence why we need Black recruiters in business.
I'm trying to give you some list of white people that just didn't give, and they're just up there because they white. They're not coming to me, but they'll come as the conversation progresses because it's a handful of extras. Just they up there because they white. Like just because this color of your skin, your hair blonde, they didn't put you in front of this TV.
I can't account for those, but I can account for even the white guys, the Brad Pitts, Liam Hemsworth. What's his name? Just was playing Superman and Geralt in The Witcher. What's his name?
Henry Cavill.
Let's also talk about Christian Bale in The Dark Knight. Those white men, they played great roles, and I enjoyed their roles. But I also enjoyed the Black folks who were in great roles. But I want that to be what's celebrated. You know what I'm saying? Don't highlight me because I'm Black. I didn't work to be brown. I didn't pick that. My parents picked that, or God picked that. Whoever else picked that, it wasn't me. But I picked to be a great actor. I picked to be an actress. Honor me for that.
And I get that, but I also feel like we should also get stuff because we Black. I mean, white people do it. Why can't we get that grace? I walk in the room and just because your skin color the right complexion, you got the role.
But I feel like that's a double-edged sword. Because then that turns into like the diversity hire type thing. I feel like there's a double-edged sword. Like we're making this movie and we need the Black funny friend, or we need the Black sidekick to go with our white main actor or whatever. And you walk in the room and they pick you just off of it.
And that's what it leads to. We need the folks in the background who can look past skin color and say, who is great for this role simply because they are great.
And that's
where we need the Black directors, the Black recruiters, the Black casting callers, and some Hispanic and some Asian. And then we need to train y'all to let go of y'all intrinsic bias and let that go. That's some business stuff right there. We need to let that go.
Why you make that face?
He said that's some business stuff. Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
I got an A in my business class
y'all don't know
right now.
nothing. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But I see what Ryan's saying. I also see what King is saying. My dislike was more so leaning towards Ryan's point is that the projects, like some of the stuff that I see is like we're the sidekick, we're in the background, or we're like the diversity hire type thing. And I would really, and there are some Black actors and actresses that get a role in a body, and it didn't even matter that they were, Black. They just bodied the role. And then just going back to my point about how we when we get casted, like just moving more into like the fantasy realm again, when we get casted in these comic book movies and these Little Mermaids and these Percy Jacksons, how heavy like the hate and the backlash that we get from the public, and you haven't even seen the person act yet. Leah Jeffries, who plays Annabeth Chase in the Percy Jackson series, did a damn good job. She she got to get. I would say she did.
She has to get better. I enjoyed her performance in that show, but she was almost there. I feel like as the show progresses, she'll get Annabelle, the character of Annabelle, better. She's almost there.
But I'm just saying.
That's what I like. What y'all are doing right now, that's what I like. We ain't critiquing or trying to avoid critiquing that actress because she's black. We're talking about her acting skills, and that's what I want to see.
But I'm saying, as far as her coming into this role, I thought she did a good job. Now, given they are children, and I would agree with you on that standpoint, because, and we could just not to get into a tangent, I feel about this first season of Percy Jackson how I feel about the first Harry Potter movie. Them children need to, they just need to grow. And I agree with you on that.
Grow. She got
However, but all I'm saying is that she didn't get into that role and just botch it. Like, she had and we'll talk about, they got mad when Anna Dio got casted as Starfire in the Titan series. Now, it's not her fault that, all of the writing and the creative choices with the series, but she did a good job with what she had. And then even if we even go backwards, when the whole uproar went up about the Harry Potter play, and they had the black woman playing Hermione, and she did a good job.
But it's Black History Month, so we can't avoid not bringing up politics, because that's what a big portion of Black history is. But that's where in some of these industries, and I want to pick my words wisely, is where we need to decide, are we at a point where we can let go of that mindset where we got to include people because of their race and let go of that diversity hire mindset? Have we gotten to a place where we have enough people here to where we can let go of that mindset and get to a fair basis where we do judge everybody for every role on the quality of their acting? Because just like, mostly white folks got mad at a black woman being cast as the Little Mermaid and everything else, I promise you, if a King of Egypt's movie comes out in 2 years, or the Moroccan Warriors movie comes out in the next 2 years, and there is a white man in one of their main roles, I know for sure Black Twitter is erupting.
It's already happened, though. They have hella Egypt movies with white people.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Just because someone did you wrong in the past, if we're going to move forward, we got to acknowledge that the wrong was there and continue doing right. Doing the wrong, but coming from the person who has done wrong just in reverse, that doesn't solve the entire problem. We got to get to a solution. So that's why I'm saying, are we going to get to a point, at least in the TV and film industry, because that's what we're referring to, are we going to judge every single actor and actress and in between based on the quality of their acting? Or are we still trying to meet diversity quotas? Because if we try to focus on diversity quotas, we're going to go against ourselves and for ourselves in every situation. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. And I think it goes back to King's point that he said a while back, or maybe it was with Ryan. Somebody said it was just that going back into like the casting hirings that we like when they, no, this is what I want to say. Going back to King's point, when they picture, I think from the production and the casting perspective, we have to get out of the mindset of when we see a black character, the image that pops up. Like King touched on the fact that when they're making a role for a black woman, these light-skinned actresses come up. Now, I'm not saying that's the wrong move, but just think of all of the other women that they're passing by seeing those, by having that image first.
But then that goes into another thing as well. Unless the show, series, or movie is meant to shed light onto a specific culture, we shouldn't even start with what is their race, in my opinion. We should talk about what are their likes, their dislikes, their motivations, their fears, what's their end goal inside of this film, and how will the character get to this point. Now, it's a difference if you're telling a story about the Atlanta strip club scene. Yes, that's majority black. It's celebrated in rap and everything else. It's different if that's the focus and you're specifically dipping into black culture. But if you're making a Lord of the Rings movie, for example, and your first thing is, this character's black, this character's Asian, you're already messing up because you haven't even started talking about the character. You're trying to talk about the visuals. You
I
see
would
what I'm
agree.
saying?
I would agree. But I also think I agree with that. And I think the issue that we're running for King's point, I think the issue that we run into is adaptations. And I think that's the what I'm
I will
talking
agree.
about is the issue that we're having when it comes to adapting books or like pieces of history. And yes, like what you said, it has to be this person of a certain race, but we're not picking the right. Our image is different from what we should be adapting. But I 100% agree with you when it comes to creating this, new stuff, or even if you want to reinvent a character, start with the personality of
Mm-hmm.
the character and then be like, okay, let's bring some people in. And it doesn't matter as long as you pick the right actor or actress that can exhibit this personality in this body of work.
Exactly. And I do see the issue of adaptations, but I'm also one of those folks who's sick of adaptations anyway, because they don't do them right half the time.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I mean?
don't. And I kind of want to go back to Ryan point when he asked us, do we want to like shy away from diversity? And I'm kind of on the fence about that because that just sound it just I don't know, it just sound real white supremacy to me because when I feel like companies I feel like that's a cop out to some companies when people make companies hire for diversity, that's what they go to push where, oh, let's not look at skin color no more, let's look at skills. Why y'all ain't been doing that?
But
Now when they start making regulations to actually make y'all put black people and stuff, now we want to talk about the skill. Oh, now it's everybody got an act. But a while ago, you just had Margot Robbie in front of me just because she pretty and blind. You
but
get what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, why can't, now that the black people are really getting on the scene for real, why can't we get the same grace that these white people that got since the 1940s? Why can't they just call up Issa Rae because she's a dark-skinned black woman and say, we got a role for you. Come on, Issa. You ain't got to audition for it, because I bet that's what Margot did for Birds of a Prey and Barbara. I bet she didn't audition. Who else? The rest of them blonde-headed. What's the girl, Anya Taylor? I know she don't be auditioning.
look,
Just the stories that I hear from these black women like Taraji, Fantasia, in their interviews, the hard work they have to put in to get these roles versus the work that they white counterparts put in. Viola Davis talked about how her and Meryl Streep got a career that's identical, parallel. Meryl Streep is paid way more than Viola Davis and gives way more opportunities than Viola Davis just because she's what? White. So why can't we get that same grace? Why we gotta
but
play fair and say, oh, now we gotta look at skill. Oh, now let's hold hands and everybody come together when they've been shitting on us for the past 100 years. Why can't we get on the toilet and shit now? Why can't we come up as a black community and take over the film industry? Is that so bad to ask?
well, that's the thing. You targeted it, and that's where we messed up at. The issue is their intention. When you said, "Oh, now that y'all want to force diversity, now we want to go against it." Those are the folks who are going against what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is for every single person to change, to take away their bias, and finally truly hire people for their skills. The issue is that even when a company, for example, tries to meet a diversity quota, at that point they're not hiring every black person for their skill. They're just bringing them in, and then when that black person gets to the company, what happens then? Start looking into the stories of some of these folks in business, how they were treated wrong by their managers. They were met with all this different segregation. Other people still got promoted. And even when the company then says, oh, we also got to have a certain amount of black people in this executive room and all this other stuff, they hire the folks who are going to listen and will never have the freedom to truly express their opinions or bring innovation to that company. And that's my issue. The folks in the background, the folks who we don't see, only bring, even for them and those roles, eliminate the ones who have that bias, because that bias is what's going to prevent us from moving forward. Because when we said these diversity clauses, it was with an intended goal. They were never meant to last forever. The diversity clause of the 70s or the 80s, it had a goal, but for us to meet that goal, that means it will eventually end, because the goal is for people to be judged by their quality of work and the content of their character. You see what I'm saying? That is the goal. But we got to get that across the board. That got to be in every industry, every business. That got to be everywhere. Do I feel like we're there exactly 100% perfect? No. Do I feel like at one point we were getting closer? Yes. But do I see signs from my perspective that I think we're regressing? in some ways, yes, because we're overly race conscious now, and that goes into a whole political conversation I don't think we got to have here. But I feel like at some point we got to say we've made it to a point where we can let this go and move forward because we trust humanity. We got to get to that point, and once we get to that point, that's when these clauses and everything can finally be dropped, because we're truly looking at people as fellow people and humans, without the white supremacy, without the black struggle, without Asians on this side ahead of everybody else. We're finally judging people for who they are as people.
Yeah, I see what King is saying. Like I said, I see both sides. My thing was that sometimes we just, like, when they do the diversity hire or the diversity role, I just don't feel like we get a fair shake at like portraying a good character. Like if we look at like some of the, like, after That's So Raven, like some of the Disney shows, it's the funny black friend, or in some movies you got that black guy that says that quip every now and then. Or like if we even want to talk about the Hunger Games, about how all of the black people in the Hunger Games are like big, scary, and things like that. And
I did enjoy it. Yeah.
but I'm just saying that's how they portray it. Like,
true.
but that's how they. But I just feel like it was like we gotta, like, the diversity hire thing. Like let's go Hunger Games. We got Jennifer Lawrence, old boy who's playing Peter, like the whole cast besides Lenny Kravitz, the girl who played Rue, and the black dude from District 11.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is that I would just like us to, get a fair shake on some of the roles that we get. And I see what you're saying, but if we're going to do, and just to tie your thing with Ryan's thing, I won't say completely get rid of it, but let's intention why, going into Ryan's thing, the intention of why we're adding diversity to this project, and not just because we want to make the public happy and just having this black person in it. And then we get to the body of work and it's not executed well. But hey, here's your representation. Because that's why I was saying it's a double-edged sword.
I feel what you said. I also feel like it's a slippery slope. I feel like it's kind of like taking your reins off a horse. If we take diversity out of Hollywood, then what's to say it's not gonna revert back 30 years and they just stop looking at black people? Because now they ain't got to. Now Steven Spielberg and them ain't gotta pull up the black headshots. Because now we ain't got that clause no more. I don't care how you act. I ain't gotta look at your headshot, because guess what? I'm not gonna put you in a movie because I don't have to. I ain't gotta do no quota. I ain't gotta check no box. Yeah, you was good, A Little Mermaid, Halle Berry, but we don't need you. That's not what I'm looking for. And that's what I feel like I'm scared that's gonna happen. We just, the whole affirmative action thing brought me to wrong with because once you take that out, it's feel like we revert back. You giving those organizations an opportunity to say no. Because now without the diversity clause or affirmative action, now they can say no in their mind. They're saying no because you black. They're not gonna say it out loud, but now they can officially say no in their head because they black. They feel good about it because now we don't have any clauses or laws in place to protect people of diversity. Hollywood is very white, and I feel like if we take our foot off their neck when it comes to stuff like this, they're just gonna revert back to what they've been doing.
There are two things I'm gonna address what Sage is talking about second. The first thing is, at some point when you're learning to ride a bike, and the bike here is acceptance and judging people not on their skin color but for who they are, at some point, once we get to that point where we feel like we've trained enough, we still got to take the training wheels off, or we will never fully master riding that bike. And another thing is, we have to also start to invest in ourselves and truly invest in ourselves in every attribute. Well, yeah, Hollywood is fully white. We got people like Cat Williams, whether it was all true, all false, or partially true, talking about how much stuff it even takes to get in there. But we can't ignore, we got to accept, we got to address, this ain't the 70s. We got some black millionaires. We got black billionaires. Yeah. I need that Oprah network to hire some more black folks. I need them Tyler Perry studios to hire some more folks. I'm glad that Beyonce be doing a lot of stuff in the background. I also want her to put some of it in the light so she can put some fire under these other folks' asses to do the same thing. I need Jay-Z to do some more. He doing a good amount. He is doing some stuff. He got some other shady stuff, but he got some stuff going. I need that to be put in the forefront. We need them black directors. We need our own black area where we can have our film industries. Oh, we got it. It's called Atlanta. Let's take advantage of it. Let's not run that city down. Let's not focus and not eat. Let's get some innovation up in there, Tyler Perry. Let's try something. Let's do some more stuff. Because once you get to that point, now we can finally take the training wheels off. And guess what? We still got the court of law. That's why we need black lawyers and everything else. We still got the court of law. Oh, you segregating against me against the color of my skin? Guess what? Every phone record now. And if I'm gonna make sure that I record everything you said in this little Zoom call or whatever, and I can sue you later. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna have that redundancy and that protection, but we still got to take the training wheels off at some point, or we're never going to become skilled drivers.
Yeah,
that analogy makes sense.
Yeah. Because I wanted to touch on Sage's thing too, like creating our own,
I did too. And Sage, I don't like that example that you used because Black Wall Street got blew the fuck up. So let's pick another example.
That should put some fire under our ass to build a new one because now we have the resources to do it. But
we don't have. And this could be another conversation. We have the resources. We don't have the unity, and that's what we lack. But that could be another conversation.
Man.
We don't have. We might have the resources, but we ain't got the unity.
We gotta make a new. We gotta have a separate podcast, Gavin, because we can do these politics. We can talk politics.
But I feel what y'all saying. Maybe we should make our own stuff. But I just feel like Hollywood is so white, even with those people that you named, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z. I bet if we pull up Tyler Perry's affiliations, I bet there's so many white people with their hand in his bucket over there at BET. BET not even owned by nobody black no more.
It's not.
So I just feel like there's a lot of forces stopping the hire of black people for even doing stuff like that because they scared of us. I feel like if Tyler Perry wanted to take over BET entirely to make it how it used to be, I feel like it'll be so much pussy. And they say Bill Cosby was finna buy one of them channels, and now he in jail. Michael Jackson was finna buy Sony, and he's 6 feet under. So I feel like when black people do stuff, it gets real sticky because we can fight, but looks what happens when we fight. Looks what happens when we don't fight. It get real sticky. Like we fight, we die. We don't fight, we get stepped on. So it just get.
Here's the thing: we can't blame a white man when a black man sees another black man fall and chooses not to pick him up solely because he doesn't want to or because he's selfish. We can't blame that white man. We have to begin to critique ourselves. We have to show our accountability, and we have to enforce these new sets of morals and values into the next generation. Yeah, we could have bought BET, but guess what? Cable ain't even big anymore. And HBO offering deals, so is Netflix. So why can't we still just start making our quality shows? Nothing stopping that. And if we want to buy BET, Oprah got more than enough money to do it. Tyler Perry do too. He's a billionaire. Diddy is too. So is Kanye. And some of these folks who Forbes ain't represent simply because that billionaire status is just a status. It's not a reflection of the money they got. Drake and a few others are billionaires too. Look at their income. Mm-hmm. All these folks, if they wanted to, could rebuild our Black Wall Street, whether it's in the TV and film industry or anything else, but it takes us choosing to work. There are other races, and I'm not going to get too deep into that, who are in this country, and because they're united, they accomplish a lot. You want to know what some of our biggest Fortune 500 CEOs look like? Some of them a lot of them are white, but an even larger portion are overrepresented, and they got brown skin, but they ain't black. And it's not because of it's because they stuck together. It's because they work hard. It's because when one of them want to fall down and embarrass the rest, or want to go against the structure that they've established to succeed, they punish them accordingly. You see what I'm saying? So we got to do better. Right now, a lot of what's holding us back is our mindsets, our perspectives, and our lack of ethics. Sorry to get political. We got lighten up the mood.
Mike,
can someone lighten the line?
I was just listening to the back and forth.
I feel what you're saying, Ryan. I feel you.
But I guess to bring it back full circle, I think Because when Sage had brought up like to making our own thing, and I definitely agree with that. But the other thing that I dislike is like, yes, we need to make our own thing. But I also just don't like the fact, like, if we want to go back into the diversity hire thing, like how some of these big networks like Disney and HBO, like they're allowing, us to make these shows, but they not promoting them. They not giving them a fair shake. Some of them last for a season and then they go away. They don't get the numbers. So like I see it both ways. Like, yes, let's fight, to get our stuff pushed to the front to make sure that everybody is aware. But I'm also on the side, like, if we not, getting the treatment that we need from these big name brands, let's go elsewhere. Let's take the money that we do have and revitalize. Like at the beginning of this conversation, we talked about TV1, BET, VH1, and these slew of black movies, action, horror, fantasy, etc. that we have. And I want you, and it's skim now. It's not a lot now.
And two
And
things.
honestly, go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say a couple things that come out of that as well is one, we gotta support from the consumer end. We do have to come out and support. I know a lot of people say, well, if it ain't marketed, blah 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 blah, that can be an excuse. But why is Power World big? Why is Baldur's Gate 3 big? That's video games. The same can apply for quite a few movies, quite a few TV series. Somehow they got big because the fans became fans and they spread it through word of mouth, which is still the best form of marketing to date. And the thing is, we got to support. And on the supplier end, we got to supply more than just what is the status quo and supply something that the consumers want. That's where we meet equilibrium.
I would agree.
Because if these three influential black people in this podcast and the one watching Dark Sage who got decent followings on their social media, who got the money to go out and support because we getting paid, if we're just a small subgroup are saying we sick of these slavery black struggle movies, can y'all please make us another sci-fi? Can y'all please make an action? Can y'all please make a fantasy? Hell, can we get some more creeds? Can we get some more sports? We got the boxing. Can we get another good football film? Something?
I think
we begging for that gotta be met. They gotta deliver.
Yeah. And I just feel like that some certain, like, we have to make breakthroughs. Like, we have to make huge breakthroughs to get some of that stuff as well. Like, Ryan Coogler started with Fruitvale Station, which is a black trauma movie. But then he broke bounds with doing Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And the news just came out today that he's doing a vampire movie with Michael B. Jordan. If we want to talk about Quinta, it's no telling what she's about to do now that Abbott Elementary took off. But like, I look at it sometimes, like, look at the things that we have to do to get to the projects and the stuff that you want to see.
I was just going to say that, like, even Ryan Coogler, just think about everything you just said, all the work he had to put into to even get the recognition. Now, if we name one of his white counterparts, I bet they have to do half the work that he had to do. Not because they was more talented to him. Ryan Coogler could be the most talented man in this world, but simply because he did not have that skin color that they was looking for. Even though we would want it like Hollywood to look at skill and acting skills and singing skills, but the reality of it is Hollywood does not. So in today's reality, we can't. We gotta play the game. We can't step outside the game and not play it. In order to win it, we have to play it.
But I would say this though, because I agree with you. But then like I said, I see both sides. But I feel like now that we do have, going to Ryan's thing, now that we do have these people who broke the bounds and are able to like create these projects, now let's break the bounds even more and be like, hey, I played the game, Ryan Coogler, I played the game and I made 3 blockbuster hits. Now let me go take, all of the revenue and the acknowledgement and the recognition that I have, and let's go do my own thing over here.
And another thing, some folks aren't going to like this one, but sometimes we also still got to look at statistics. These businesses are still businesses that want to be in the green. They want their shareholders to be happy. They want their investors to be happy, and they got to meet financial quotas. I want to choose my words wisely because if this was to be our first big viral video, folks might get mad at this. On data, just looking at data, yeah, we can say that some folks don't sign it and all that. We're 13% of the population. Our pure black folks, black Americans, African Americans, whichever title you want to go by, we 13%. If you're in a business and you want to be on the size of Disney, your product has to appeal to and be bought by more than 50%. And that's part of the reason why certain things get greenlit. But that's also why certain things like what Ryan Coogler worked on, like Black Panther, it broke the mold because even though it was some black actors in there, even though it was African tribes, it was comic books, so it appealed to a lot of fans, and the quality was so good that when the next one comes out, folks are going to be there. And now his name has recognition, so folks are going to be there. But you still got to appeal to a large group. You can't just say when I go to my own, now all of a sudden I'm just going to ignore my white, Asian, and Hispanic consumers.
I wasn't saying ignore.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying you are.
Okay.
I'm not saying you are. I'm talking to the folks who may be listening. They got that mindset. You still got to sell to everybody. Them lovely ladies who run these nail salons, who may not look like you and me or some of our white counterparts. Guess what? They got our white counterparts, black counterparts, and Hispanic counterparts all in there doing all their nails, doing all their eyebrows because that's business.
Yeah, I wasn't saying like ignore, but I guess like when you and King, I was in the cut listening to y'all doing y'all back and forth. But more so like the challenges that King was bringing up for us to be, in the front of certain projects, to be in Marvel projects, to be in Star Wars projects, the things that we have to go through. It going back to our Ryan Coogler example, if he goes out and, makes his own thing, some of those obstacles, we don't have to go through that. Now, I definitely agree that the product that you have to produce needs to, resonate with, several groups of people. But some of those hurdles that King was bringing up, if we go off and do our own thing, those hurdles can become non-existent.
Exactly. Yes, I agree. I feel like they'll become non-existent for the actors, but for people like Tyler Perry or Oprah Winfrey, I feel like there are forces in play that we don't know about that's keeping them. Because I feel like we have a lot of billionaires like Jay-Z or Kanye or Tyler Perry that want to do stuff like that. They want to own a network. Nick Cannon want to do it. Nick Cannon wants to buy Nickelodeon. Has he bought it yet? He has more than enough money to buy Nickelodeon. Nick Cannon has the talent to produce shows on Nickelodeon that'll probably go up. Like, I feel like we have black people that want to do stuff like that, but I feel like it's forces, again, in Hollywood, because it's so white, that won't let us go out and own BET and revamp it to what it used to be, because it's white. And I feel like if we go out and start our own stuff, yeah, that'll be good, but I just feel like it'll get sabotaged because history repeats itself, and everything black people have started on our own has been sabotaged because we haven't took care of the first problem, is the oppressors. First, we got to take down white Hollywood. Then we can make black Hollywood. In order to take down white Hollywood, we need to infiltrate it. We need them black actors and actors to get opportunities in white Hollywood just as much as them white actors and actors do, just so we can get that notoriety. We can have, if Ryan Coogler walk into VH1, they just finna he pitch a show. They're gonna give it to him because they know he the shit in Hollywood. We just don't be getting them opportunities in Hollywood. I feel like it's so whitewashed. So we do go off and start our own shit. They just gonna give us the boot. Oh, y'all not ready yet. Heck, y'all don't even like each other for real. Black gays, black trans, and heterosexuals can't even get along. So why we finna support y'all even starting in Hollywood when y'all can't even unify? So let me kick y'all to the curb again. So I feel like we have people that want to do stuff like that. Like I said, Bill Cosby wanted to buy, what the fuck was that network? I forgot what the network Bill Cosby wanted to buy. They said R. Kelly wanted to buy a network too, and look what he had. Michael Jackson dead. Tyler Perry is over there at BTB and Tyler Perry. Oprah Winfrey don't even own OWN no more. Somebody white on that. Like, I just feel like we gotta tackle white Hollywood first. We need to infiltrate white Hollywood, take that down, then create our own. Because if we don't take them down, they're just gonna keep kicking us off because we ain't got the power to stand on our own yet.
I would disagree because there's a certain part of history that we fail to realize. Power at the end of the day is influence. And there are hundreds and thousands and millions of ways to influence the person next to you, in front or behind you. And one thing, the first person you attack when you want to accomplish something for a group is the group itself. The first people that black people should attack when they have a goal is one another. Make sure we're united. Make sure we have goals that are accomplishable, smart goals, and we work towards that. But the goal shouldn't be to infiltrate something that exists, because before Hollywood, what was there? Exactly. Somebody still had to create that. That's the part of history we need to go back to. An empire had to be created for that empire to live and thrive. We have to create our own empires by having proper leaders and then by creating proper followers. The issue is, who are our leaders? You assume that they want to do these things and that someone is blocking them. I also feel like you could equally assume that they probably don't want it that bad. We got to look at who our leaders are and what they truly desire. Which of our leaders said that I want to go to the middle of Milwaukee, Kentucky, somewhere where the land is not, ain't no too many buildings. We can take it over. We got these billionaires. I want to go there and build something for black folks. I want to create something big. We can stream on anything. We can stream on YouTube. You don't even need a cable network. Why do you need a cable network? You can get marketing from anywhere. You can get marketing from a black company. I use Scotch Porter for beard and hair products. They're a black company owned by a black man out there in New York. There's some black hair suppliers. There's black tech people, black vitamin creators, black honey, all this little stuff that's created by black folks who can sponsor these businesses and develop an economy. My whole thing is, no, we don't need to take anything from the white man or insert placeholder right there. We need to create our own stuff. And that's our issue. We can't tear ourselves down. We got to build each other up. And that's why I would put the fire under Oprah ass, Kanye, Drake, Diddy, and all these other folks, or before I ever put a fire under some random white guy, because they're the ones who came from the struggle. Oprah born and raised in Mississippi before she went to Tennessee. Yes, she was sang for Morgan Freeman. Beyonce from Texas. I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas right now. Jay-Z was from the boondocks of the Bronx of New York, or whatever part of New York he was in. So what's stopping them from coming anywhere else, this uninhabited land, and building an empire? There ain't that much. It's not that much, or they would have never became the billionaires who have the money, resources, and influence to do so. If Beyonce said right now, Diddy created something on Revolt, go watch it. It's getting 1 million views in one day off GP. Instantly. Just because of her influence. And so many other people have that influence, but are they taking advantage of it in the way that they want to? I think a lot of them are making excuses. I think a lot of our leaders aren't actually leaders. I feel like a lot of them are selfish. And we
They're
need
just rich, black people.
Yeah.
Rich does not mean quality of character.
And I also feel like, and I agree with what you and Sage saying, but I also feel like that idea is very euphoric in today's time. Like, yeah, in the perfect world, we can go out to the middle of Missouri and start our own shit and then leave us alone, and we be great and grand and build and be black excellence and create a black Hollywood just like they got Bollywood. But if we being realistic in 2024 in USA, with these white people that run the country, they're not gonna let them do that. And something in my gut is telling me we've had black people with money that's wanting to do stuff like that. I just don't feel like Jay-Z now at home sitting on their ass not doing nothing with their money. I really feel like they out trying to make moves, but again, with the systems in play, with the systematic racism and white supremacy, some of these people can't. So I keep giving y'all examples of, I'm gonna say again, Bill Cosby wanted to buy a network and put out shows. Michael Jackson wanted to buy Sony and buy all the rest of Sony. R. Kelly wanted to buy a network and put out shows. They wanted to start all these things, but what all three of them at?
Why they need to buy something? The three richest men right now created something. Elon. I'm saying hold on.
Okay, finish.
Elon, yeah, he had the diamond mines, he had his family support, blah 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 blah. He still created something. Jeff Bezos still created something. Bill Gates still created.
But what color are those people though, Ryan? You naming white people. Of course they gonna let Jeff Bezos white bitches create something.
Alexander the Great, these African emperors from way back in the day that we learned about in history class before we had the age of information and technology to share my thoughts within 2 seconds through a phone call. Before that, they were doing that out in Africa. Before Hollywood ever existed, it had to be created. Before this nation existed, some land had to be conquered and it was created. But that's for every other nation in Europe as well. That's for every ongoing nation right now in Africa. That's same for all the nations currently in Asia. Someone had to create. Someone had to gather. Someone had to get a group of people and say, we have this goal and we're going to do it. That's why I feel like when you say, I think these people are trying to do something, they ain't proved it. Because Oprah can say, oh, I had issues, building schools out here. Well, what stopped you from donating $50 million to Jackson State, Tougaloo, and everybody else? Because that $50 million can rebuild them old buildings that ain't got no air conditioning and no clean water. I promise you it can, because I know how much them buildings cost. I promise you, Drake, he got the sonic boom at his concert. He also could have gave every single one of them band students a scholarship and said, hey, go major in engineering, go make you a 6-figure salary, go build your mama a house, raise some kids in a nuclear family, make sure that they got some good ethics and morals, and then keep the cycle going. And now we got a community of greatness generation over generation. But I don't see him doing that. And I ain't got proof to say that they is or ain't.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like they just not at home sitting on their hands and not doing nothing.
I mean,
but as much as we hate some of these people are very vocal and political about what they're doing. Even Beyonce, she might not say if they should do, but when Miss Tina Knowles went on that interview with Jennifer Hudson, naming all the shit that Beyonce do behind closed doors, who knows what these celebrities are trying to do for us? And we can't just sit here and say they not. One, we can't say they're not doing enough because it's not their responsibility. We didn't designate them as our leaders. They just got a lot of money. If I wake up and want to be billionaire, y'all say I run the black race. Some say no, the fuck I don't. I just got a lot of money. So maybe they feel like that. And two, again, we don't know what they're doing. We have no idea what the people sitting in them exec rooms doing.
That's the flaw of our mindset.
We was just talking about how Issa Rae rap shit got canceled for nothing. That show was doing numbers.
But that's
and they gave her the boom. For what? What they get her for what though? Like so why was there like why can't she be great? You see how much she's skillful, she can write, she can produce, she can do all that. Her show was doing numbers. Why they get her the boom?
Here's another thing. But what you said earlier is the flaw of our mindset. Why is it their job to do something? Other communities that are smaller than us that have gotten here, it's all of their responsibility to push their communities forward. Every single one of them, from rich to poor. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest part of our mindset. We are not unified. I don't think the majority of these rich folks are smart. I feel like they had opportunities and they did what they had to do and they were smart in certain areas. But I don't think all of them are politically smart. I don't think all of them are necessarily even that business savvy. They might be smart enough to get an attorney who is, but I don't think all of them are just necessarily business savvy.
I don't think they all leader worthy either. I just say they just black people. It's just like if we wake up in the morning with $1 billion. And now everybody say, "Oh, Portia, Ryan, and Gavin need to go out there and fix the community. They got all this money." We see them like, "Damn, like what? Why we got to go out and do it?"
But what we can do, we got the resources to support somebody who can.
But how do you know they're not doing stuff like that? I'm just saying we can't sit up and say that they're not doing enough when we don't know what they're doing behind closed doors.
Because I'm not saying
just because we don't see it, don't mean it's not happening though.
But I address that too. One, I'm not saying they ain't doing enough, but I'm also saying they do need to present it. When it comes to I work in Agile. Part of Agile is transparency and showing the results to your stakeholders. Because when a team brings value and the stakeholders are made aware of how long it took and everything else, you know what those stakeholders do? Reinvest. Encourage the team even more. They build trust and they build a relationship that's push and pull where they're going to continue to grow more.
I hear what you're saying, but do we want to see the results or do we want to see the process? Because I feel like now we don't have results. We're in the process.
Both. We want to see. We should see it all. They don't necessarily got to be the leaders. A leader ain't got to be rich. Well, how rich was Martin Luther King as a pastor? How rich was
Martin
he?
Luther King was poor as hell.
Oh, and he was so impactful that the government had to kill him off. Not only because he was telling black folks that he want us to sit on the swing with our friendly white folks, but because he didn't want us in war and some other stuff. Because he was that impactful. Just I ain't saying that these rich folks got to be leaders, but I'm saying that now that you got these resources to look out, get on Twitter. It takes 2 seconds. Hey, who knows how to build up a neighborhood in Mississippi right now? Who knows how to build up the South, because the South is where the predominantly most black people, where we dominate these states by capita, percent wise. It's probably more black people in LA and New York, but percent wise, us versus other races, we're a large group. Can some of y'all help me do something with this $50 million? I don't need to go build a $10 million, $20 million mansion. I want to build up a university. Can someone show me where to do it? Because a white person can't really do as much as we think they can. We're in the information technology age. If I want to get a thought across, it take a call, it take a text. Someone's preventing me from doing this. It take a call or a text. Let's go for riot. Well, not riot, but protest. It take a few seconds to do that nowadays. We don't have many excuses aside from us being the ones that make the excuses for ourselves. We got a whole network of just our friends right now. Dang, I hate that we get off the TV and film industry. We got a whole network of friends right now. Galvin, if you were to ever fail at life, whose fault is it? Aside from just yours, it's partially your fault, but who else's fault is it?
What you mean as feeling like I just lose everything today and I wake up
you
broke?
become a hobo on the street and you sleeping by yourself, can't feed yourself, can't drink water.
Ooh, it just depends on how the story go. It could be my fault. It could be Portia's fault. She could have stolen my money and kicked me out the house. Like it just depends on how.
Everybody who could have helped prevent you from failing, it's their fault.
Yeah, I would say I see where Ryan going, but I did want
that we're a community of friends, push each other up.
I let y'all run. Like I'm liking the discourse, but we gotta bring it back. I'm liking the discourse, but we gotta bring it back. But I see what Ryan's saying. I see what King is saying, and just to bring it back full circle, just for what I would like to see from the future. You know, we keep making breakthroughs in what we can in Hollywood, and we make the moves when we can to start doing our own stuff as well. And not be not be so dependent. Like, yes, let's get the respect that we deserve in the industry that we are living in, but let's also, make the moves and make the breakthroughs to produce our own things as well. And not rely on these corporations like Disney and HBO to give us a shot. So,
and shout out to Sage and Auntie Cassie for supporting us in the chat and giving us a shout.
That's Cassie probably left.
She
probably heard us talking rah and left.
Yeah.
She can always come back and play the recording. But shout out to
Sage. She could. Shout out to Sage though. That was a nice input. Yeah, I gave it now. Portia, I had something to say, but Portia cut me off and said we had 2 hours and 3 minutes.
We had a 2 hour mark.
Y'all was gonna go. Y'all was gonna keep on going. Like I like the discourse. And I like the perspectives, and I was just sitting here listening. But yeah, let y'all two talk. We gonna be in here.
We'll be here 5 hours. We still talk, and y'all still praying and talking the tongue.
What folks don't know, me and Galvin best friends. We said it at one point. We can talk all day about stuff.
It's crazy how our mindset is on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
that's what it takes for growth.
But just to bring it back full circle, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. So one, I want to thank you both, Ryan and King, for sharing your very opposite end perspectives to the TV and film industry. And also we got into a little bit of what we can do as a community to break away from, the current industries, like the industries that we are in. So two, I want to thank everybody who showed up. I know we went a little longer than I was planning, but if you stayed the whole time, it's appreciated. If this is your first time watching, it's appreciated. Your 50th time, it is appreciated. So going over our schedule for Black History Month, we got more streams coming. So if you like the discussion and the discourse on this one, join us next Friday. We'll be discussing the video game industry. On Wednesday, February 21st, we'll be discussing the anime, manga, and comic book industry. And on February 28th, we will be ending our Black History Month celebration with a discussion on the music industry.
Music gonna be
that's
big
gonna
in
be
this
good.
one.
That's gonna be
the
good.
music, the music one.
Ryan, you better tie your boots tight because I love some music. Y'all thought me and Ryan was going back and forth tonight.
We going to war on that one. I already know.
I'm ready.
I already know.
I'm ready.
But make sure you guys follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at the Blerd Mob Pod, Twitter at the Blerd Mob, and you can find us on Facebook and TikTok at the Blerd Mob Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button. And if you were watching this stream on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. Check out our recently released episodes. Episode 41 is now available. Our mob review of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is available. And our Versus Tuesday from 2 weeks ago, where we did a Nickelodeon tier list, is also available. And if you are feeling oh so generous, make sure you hit the Ko-fi link. It will be in the description of the video. And when the audio version comes out later tonight, it would also be in the description. Send us a donation. It will not be going towards tickets for King to go to Gag City. It will be used for equipment.
Why y'all doing me like that?
It will be used for, equipment and subscription and software to bring you guys this episode. So let's see what comments we have. Darkseid said, I love the discourse. We have to have these conversations. I definitely agree.
I agree.
And he said the music one is going to be scary.
Oh, it's going to be very. And I do want to say I love us for real. And I think the message that everybody should all take from this, unite. We can't do nothing until we come together. And like I said, it's a separate conversation. But we're going to have to come together. Trans, gay, straight, black. I mean, not black. Male, female.
Just to touch on Ryan, like the Discord that we had tonight, just to touch on Ryan's thing, is discourse that we would have had in any one of these upcoming live streams in any of these industries. So please don't think that this discourse is singular to the TV and film industry, because it's not. And it's going to get
real crazy. Music, them Grammys, and we ain't even got to get there. We're going to save it.
But I definitely agree with the Dark Sage that we have to have this conversation. So if you felt like a little slighted or maybe like a bit, irked that we kind of went off topic, I mean, everything that King and Ryan went back and forth about is relative to this industry and all of these industries that we will be discussing for the rest of Black History Month. So let us
thumbs up.
Make sure to boost the post for this. When we drop these snippets and everything, make sure to boost them posts, food.
Oh, okay.
So definitely, leave a comment. Let us know how you felt. Do you agree with King? Do you agree with Ryan? Are you like me? You see both sides, you in the middle? And just let us know. Like, these are the conversations that need to be had. And if you don't see this discourse happening anywhere else, you will get this from the Blerd Mob Podcast.
100.
And it's okay if you're in the middle. It's okay if you don't agree with neither one of us. But maybe we both talking jibber jabber, and that's okay too.
We could be wrong. We could be off.
Hey.
I'm in the middle. Like, it was I'm in the middle. Like, I see both sides, because I mean, that's reality. Reality is not black and white. It's hella gray areas.
Mm-hmm.
So if I gotta be the gray area in the mix.
I feel you. We should start our own stuff, but get the respect we deserve and what's already implemented. That's the message.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
If you don't get the respect you deserve, go start your own shit. That's the message. At least that's what Sage and Ryan taught me. They taught me not to fight for respect, just move out and go.
When Sage is in the chat, I know I got some support. That's my boy right there.
Y'all brothers.
Support you come for this music one.
Me and him might disagree. Sage is very passionate about certain levels of music, so I actually am interested in his opinion for that section.
All right, y'all.
This is the Blerd Mob Podcast signing out.
Peace.
Hands up. If you loving where you at, stand 10 toes down. Shawty ain't no looking mad. You can let them haters hate when they enter where I'm smiling. I just tell them life's great. Like gravy. If you loving